everyone. I have been spending a lot of time with my daughter. She's just so amazing. I'm having such a good time with her. We were taking a tennis lesson together the other day, and we were walking across the court, and a group of ladies that were playing on the next court stopped us, and they said, "We just have to tell you, you guys are like ridiculously cute together." And my daughter sort of rolled her eyes, and she's like, "How come so many people say that to us?" She's like, "It's sort of silly." And then she laughed, and she goes, "It's almost like we're making people sick." And I started laughing, and I go, I will take that. I will keep making people sick if this is what it means, because I just wake up every morning. I literally wake up every morning, and I pray, and I thank God for this kid that I have. And one of the reasons it's so sweet to me is because it wasn't always that way. Okay, so I'm just going to be really honest. I actually felt like a really bad parent for a while when she was really young. And I was like, there's no manual for this thing that talks back so much. She's so strong-willed. No one told me it was going to be this way. I thought it was going to be easy. I was going to do what I was supposed to do as a parent. I was going to tell her what to do. She was going to do what I said. And we were going to have this like perfect little all-American family. And yeah, my daughter did not go for that whatsoever. So I had this incredibly strong-willed, let me adjust this, incredibly strong-willed kid who just had a mind of her own. And, 2 years old, hands on the hips, and I'm the leader, I'm the boss. Literally, that's what she said to me at 2 years old. And I'm like, when you change my diapers, you get to be the boss. But until then, we're going to have to work something out. But we had this major clashing of the wills, and I remember breaking down one time when she was about 5 years old, and I literally broke down, started crying. I started praying about it, and I go, parenting's not supposed to be this hard. I know it's not supposed to be this hard. So I am telling this kid she needs to do this, she needs to do that, she needs to communicate with me in a certain way. And the answer that kind of came back to me in my prayer was, you're expecting a 5-year-old to communicate with you the way you expect her to, as opposed to you who has, 35 years of experience on her, who you have far more ability to go out and learn this information. And it's your job to go out and learn how to communicate with her. No joke, that's what came back to me. And it sort of struck me, and I went, oh my gosh, it's my job. I'm the one who is supposed to figure out how to communicate with my kid. And I'm really lucky. I mean, I always say this, but I'm really lucky that I'm surrounded in this environment. I've got child psychiatrists all around me, although we deal with, kids who are really troubled. But I have access to information. I knew where to go to look for information. So I started looking for information, and I found some really great resources. And one of those resources, we have resources in our clinics that I think are phenomenal. But one of the programs I found was something called Love and Logic. And then I took some NLP. I love NLP, neuro-linguistic programming, which is just sort of how to deal with your own languaging, how to deal with how you process information, because how you speak and how you speak to others and how you process your own information from when you're a kid actually can influence how you communicate with others currently. And what worked for you then doesn't always work for you now. So I did a lot of research. So I have sort of like, I'm just by the grace of God figured some of this stuff out. And I've got this amazing kid now. So now when a lot of my friends are really struggling with their relationships because their kids are coming into their teenage years, and I've got this amazing relationship with her. And ironically, her friends will come over and they will just open up and they will tell me crazy stuff that I'm like, whoa, we need to figure out how you can talk to your parents about this, because I can't really give you that kind of information. That's overstepping my boundaries. They will refuse. They're like, nope, I will talk to you about it. I will not go home and talk to my parents about it, which I think is really sad. So I just want to, that's why I know it's not just my daughter. And, my daughter doesn't communicate with everybody the way she communicates with me. That same kid can be pretty sassy. So that's why I know it's not just her. It's how I'm communicating with her. So, and what some of the skills that I've learned, and that's why I want to share that with you. I know some people who are like, wow, she's really sassy and strong-willed, but with me, she's just this great kid. So, few things I've learned. So I think of it like disaster planning. I am like this huge disaster planner. Like if you saw my setup for the end of the world, some of you would congratulate me and some of you would think I need to be locked up. My husband probably thinks I need to be locked up. But I'm ready for the zombie invasion. So I literally, like, my house is like, it's amazing what I've got set up for the end of the world. But that said, I think of disaster-proofing relationships sort of the same way, because no matter how good your kid is, you're going to have problems. And this isn't just kids, this is all of your relationships. It's just that, many adults that we surround ourselves with have more skill. Kids are still learning and they're hormonal. So you want to make sure that your kids, you're thinking about this ahead of time. Because if you think about it ahead of time, then it's going to be really helpful to you. So one of the first things that I like to think about is, the first thing is know what's normal. Like, know what is normal. So some things are absolutely normal. They can be frustrating, but that doesn't mean they're not normal. For example, a 2-year-old is supposed to say no a lot. And they're supposed to say mine a lot. You got to know what's normal. So like a 2-year-old, if you know developmentally that they're supposed to do that, it makes it a little easier to take. Otherwise, it's just frustrating to you. They're supposed to say no. They're supposed to be realizing they're not part of you. Same sort of thing happens when they hit their teens. Unless you want a 30-year-old living in your basement, okay, right, and staying at home forever, they have to figure out that their values are different from yours or the same, but they're going to test it. They've got to figure out that they're a different person from you. They have to figure out that, they're becoming their own person. They're becoming independent. And so it can be a painful process, but it's normal. So if you just remind yourself, oh my gosh, I don't like what's happening, but it's normal that my kid wants to spend more time with their friends than with me. It's normal that they challenge me sometimes. And if you come up with healthy ways to put boundaries around that and you talk about it openly, it can be a lot less painful. So when I figured that piece out, it was really helpful to me.